Many people from around the world come to Kaulantak Peeth, approach Mahasiddha Ishaputra and learn something before they leave. So, who has the right to teach what they have learned from Kaulantak Peeth or from Mahasiddha Ishaputra? Not everyone can teach. There must be some qualification required to impart knowledge they have received from Mahasiddha Ishaputra or the Siddha tradition, right? The tradition of Kaulantak Peeth tells us that there are three types of people who can pass on the knowledge given by Kaulantak Peeth and Mahasiddha Ishaputra. These three types of people are Acharyas, Gurus and Adhikaris. One thing to always remember is that in Kaulantak Peeth, neither Acharya nor Guru nor Adhikaris hold their position for a lifetime. They are selected for a specific period and given knowledge of a particular subject along with the responsibility to teach and propagate it. So whenever you wish to receive knowledge from Kaulantak Peeth or want to connect with the tradition of Mahasiddha Ishaputra or the Siddha tradition, you need to check whether the person who is telling about a Siddha tradition, you need to check whether this person is authentic or is this person authorized to talk about Kaulantak Peeth or Siddha Dharma or not. Is this person an Acharya? If yes, when and how was he appointed and what subject is he an Acharya of? Similarly, if someone holds the position of Guru, you should know which knowledge system he has been designated as a Guru of and which knowledge system he has been authorized to teach and pass on so that he can provide those specific initiations and impart those knowledge systems to the world. Regarding Adhikaris, you should also know what type of ritual they are authorized to perform, what kind of works related to shamanism they are allowed to do, and which type of works they are permitted to do in Dev Parampara. Once you are well aware of who among these three you are approaching or connecting with and whether they have been authorized by Kaulantak Peeth or Mahasiddha Ishaputra, and if yes, you can proceed. It is crucial to understand that in Kaulantak Peeth, if there are Acharyas, there will be various kinds of Acharyas, you see. You cannot assume that a Yoga Acharya will teach you Tantra or a Tantra Acharya will teach you astrology and it's like that. An Acharya is proficient in only one discipline. Similarly, Gurus cannot provide all types of initiations. In the Siddha tradition of Himalayas, the Kaulantak Nath is the Guru of all Gurus. So you must know what kind of initiations a selected Guru is authorized to give, at what level and through which method. Adhikaris are mainly involved in social works, rituals, karmakand and shamanism related activities. You should know how much practical experience or sadhanatmak experience they have and the extent of authority also. Now if a person stays in Kaulantak Peeth for a long time or serve Mahasiddha Ishaputra for an extended period, learn something from him, but later he is found to be undisciplined or unworthy and he is expelled from Kaulantak Peeth or by Mahasiddha Ishaputra, that person cannot be considered connected to the Peeth or the tradition. Even if he continues to make a living from Dharma, spirituality or yoga outside, will he be considered connected to Peeth or Siddha tradition? The answer is absolutely not. When someone is expelled from a sect or tradition, you must understand this. When someone is expelled from a tradition, it is because they have violated specific rules, failed to adhere to Dharma, committed wrongdoings or crimes, or are associated with sins and vices like that of Brahmahatya. Such individuals are not related to Kaulantak Peeth in any way, and such individuals are not retained in the Peeth and are entirely rejected, no matter how much they try to redeem themselves outside. Yes, such a person may start their own fabricated traditions outside, but they have no connection with Kaulantak Peeth, because the knowledge of the Peeth can only be given by someone who is connected with Kaulantak Nath. The main question now is how to identify someone genuinely connected with Kaulantak Nath. See, just as there are 3 types of people in Kaulantak Peeth, Kaulantak Nath Ishaputra gives 3 things to his selected people. Understand this carefully, as it is very important. The first is Tej. You can call it divine radiance in English. The second is Dharma, the righteousness. And the third is Vidhi, that is the methodology, the methods to conduct anything. In Kaulantak Peeth, the utmost importance is given to Tej, the divine radiance. The divine radiance of the Guru Mandal, the divine radiance of the Deva Mandal, and the Tej of Kaulantak Nath. This Tej itself is known as Tapobal, the power of penance. This Tapobal is most important element of Kaulantak Nath and Kaulantak Peeth. This means that if Kaulantak Nath bestows his Tej, the Tej of Dharma or the Tej of Guru Mandal or someone through his traditional method, it is considered a significant and great achievement. And it is seen as the highest achievement by a practitioner, making them feel blessed. The next element is Upadesh or teaching. When Kaulantak Nath gives knowledge or dharmic gyan, religious teachings, it requires deep contemplation and adherence. Kaulantak Nath frequently tests his Bhairav and Bhairavis to ensure they are devoted to Dharma. And if someone is found not to be devoted to Dharma, they are expelled from the Peeth. Then the third element is Vidhi, that is the methodology. Kaulantak Nath teaches his Bhairavs and Bhairavis methods like the method of performing yajna, the method of karmakand, the methods of creating yantras, and the methods of meditation, and the methods of performing asanas and pranayams, etc. etc. Only when a Bhairav and Bhairavi becomes completely proficient in the tradition of Kaulantak Nath and the Siddha tradition of the Himalayas do they become fully equipped with Tej, Dharma and Vidhi, all the 3 things. However, if someone initially seems like a good disciple possessing Tej, Dharma and Vidhi, but later goes astray or deviates from the path, then only Vidhi remains with them. They fall from Dharma and lose the Tej of Guru Mandal received from Kaulantak Nath. They become devoid of Dharma and Tej, retaining only the knowledge of methods. Such a person can teach you asanas and pranayams, but can never provide you with the divine, radiant energy of yoga. They cannot guide you on the path of Dharma and will lead you astray from the Siddha Dharma path. The Tej of Guru Mandal that flows through Kaulantak Nath or his seat will never reach you. The main point is, if someone teaches you yoga or rituals outside, are they genuine or fake? If someone had some connection in past with Kaulantak Peeth or Kaulantak Nath, and if he teaches you yoga or the Karmakand, is he a genuine person or a fake person? The answer is that whatever Vidhi such a person teaches is genuine, but limited to just the Vidhi or method. It can be understood with an example. Just like a person is alive because of the life force within the body, but once the person dies, the life force leaves and the body remains inert. Similarly, a person devoid of Dharma and Tej is lifeless, and the method is like a lifeless body. So if someone has been expelled from the Peeth or the tradition, you can learn methods from them, obviously, but the method will not be particularly beneficial because they are devoid of Dharma and Tej. Please understand. Such individuals often guide you by telling you to head towards the Himalayas, do the sadhana in Himalayas and praise the Himalayas, do Himalaya Stuti, which is merely a facade of religious practices or sadhanas and spiritual endeavors. It is like someone who went to become a surgeon but could not complete the education and is now posing as a surgeon. And this can prove to be fatal for you, right? Many people who learned from Kaulantak Nath, Mahasiddha Ishaputra, they have reached great heights in the material world. Many people argue that such a person and so person must be genuine because they have millions of followers, but this is not true. The number of followers can never be a measure of someone's spiritual stature, right? It is foolish to think so. Those expelled from the Peeth or who leave it must have committed some sin or shown some incapacity to understand the Vidya, to understand the Vidhi, or to understand the tradition, making them unfit to impart knowledge to others. They are playing with, people's lives if they do so. Therefore, considering such individuals as genuine is your folly. See, if you reach Kaulantak Peeth or Kaulantak Nath Mahasiddha Ishaputra through someone and feel eternally grateful to that person, the Peeth and the tradition say that this is entirely wrong. Please understand this. When your auspicious time comes, when your good deeds awaken, you are naturally attracted to Mahasiddha Ishaputra. Otherwise, if Ishaputra himself or his picture or videos are in front of you, your mind will not settle on them and you will move on. See, it is said that only when the merits of past deeds arise or the sadhana of previous lives awakens, you can see or connect with the tradition of Kaulantak Nath Ishaputra. But there is no role of any person in this. The person through whom you think you reached Kaulantak Peeth might become sinful tomorrow. He might start committing wrongdoings, might start speaking ill of Mahasiddha Ishaputra, might demean the tradition or might not adhere to Dharma himself. And if you have any emotional attachment to such a person, you will suffer the consequences of bad company and be entangled in his karma and maya, leaving your spiritual journey incomplete. Therefore, a practitioner is advised to stay in a state of detachment and parambhav. The parambhav means that your coming to Kaulantak Peeth or Kaulantak Nath is the will of Mother Goddess Kurukulla. When she wants to call you, she will naturally create a medium. The person is not important here. If you get attached to the person, you will definitely fall. Therefore, you should not attach yourself to the person, but directly connect with Bhagwan Sri Swachhand Bhairav and Ma Kurukulla or the Guru Mandal. Mahasiddha Ishaputra says it is not necessary to connect with him, but to connect with Shiva, Shakti and Guru Mandal. because they are the eternal truth and this peeth also belongs to them. Another big question is whether Kaulantak Nath imparts knowledge through a Bhairav or a Bhairavi. The answer is no. However, there are some Bhairavs and Bhairavis who are called Ishputras Parshads, and they have certain privileges also. You see, Parshads are Bhairavs and Bhairavis who stay close to Ishputra for a specific period, go to the forest with them, practice and assist in small tasks. Sometimes Mahasiddha Ishaputra gives these Parshads important information or knowledge or teachings, and it is essential that it reaches you within a specific period. But when Mahasiddha Ishaputra is deeply engrossed in his sadhanas, in such situations his Parshads are the only right source to transmit that or to pass on that knowledge to you, what Mahasiddha Ishaputra has given. But remember, Parshads are not permanent. Only while they are Parshads can they transmit the knowledge given by Ishaputra to you. They are merely carriers, as the primary source of knowledge is Mahasiddha Ishaputra or Siddha Dharma tradition. Therefore, you should not get attached to the one conveying the knowledge. I will conclude this video, this session, by explaining this with an example. Suppose there is a water tap in front of you and you drink water from it and thank the tap, thinking that the tap gave you the water. If you think like this, you are foolish. Because the tap did not give you water. The tap's only role is to regulate the flow of water. The real gratitude is due to the source, the spring, the river, or the lake from where the water flows to you. So if a person sits near the tap thinking that they got water from the tap, they will never reach the ocean. If the tap dries up one day, the person attached to the tap will also meet the same fate. Many small taps around you provide water and some satisfaction to an extent. But if you say, "Let us thank this tap," you are making a big mistake. You should reach the source and thank it and connect with it, because it is the truth, eternal and everlasting.